राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. Rajavidya, the king of knowledge. Rajaguhyam, the king of secrets. Idam, this. Uttamam, highest. Pavitram, purifier. And Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha, that which is realizable, that which is direct. Avagamam, means of knowledge. Dharmyam, according to righteousness. Susukham, very easy. Kartum, to perform. Avyayam, imperishable. So Bhagavan is continuing to praise this, to glorify this knowledge. He says this knowledge is royal knowledge. This knowledge is a royal secret. This is the highest purifier. This knowledge is realizable directly by its means. This knowledge is according to dharma, aligned with dharma. This knowledge is very easy to perform, and this knowledge is imperishable. Rajavidya. So is it knowledge of the kings or king of knowledges? So it certainly was the knowledge of the kings, like King Janaka, for example. We have seen that earlier. I don't know about today, whether today's kings have this knowledge or not. Highly doubtful. But in those days, kings like Janaka had this knowledge. They were experts. But the meaning here is that it is the king of all knowledge. This is because all knowledge pertaining to samsara is limited. Because why? Samsara itself is limited. We saw that, how the world perishes day and night of Brahma and all of that, right? This knowledge is beyond samsara. Every other knowledge removes some ignorance related to the world. This knowledge removes all ignorance. And he says, Rajaguhyam, king of secrets. It remains a secret even after being shared repeatedly. Meaning most people do not know it. And even those who know it have not experienced it. That is why Rajaguhyam. Pavitram idam uttamam. The greatest of purifiers. That which removes dirt or impurity is pavitra, is a purifier. Right? We use this, what is that called? Which we...
Sanitizer.
Sanitizer, right? Today's Pavitram. Sri Hanuman Chalisa starts with the first of the shlokas, Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja, Nijamana Mukura Sudhari, Bharanau Raghuvara Bimala Jashu, Jo Dayaka Falachari. Cleansing my mind. See, I have to make my mind pure, removing it of all impurities. How? And why? Because my mind reflects my thoughts. That's why I would like to purify it. And I want to make it calmer. Because when the mind becomes calm, then it is ready to receive. Then it is ready to meditate. And how do I do it? With the dust of Guruji's lotus feet. So, Tulsi Dasa is referring to Hanumanji's lotus feet. From the dust of your feet, I will cleanse my mind. It's indicative. And once I have purified my mind, I will describe the unblemished glory of Rama, which then bestows the four fruits. The four fruits that are referred to here are Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. We saw this in the introductory satsang too. Artha, Kama and Dharma are pertaining to the samsara, to worldly life. Moksha is the mokshase that Bhagavan is referring to here. That freedom from sorrows and that attainment of bliss. So what is the biggest impurity these days? I think there will be a unanimous response to this, the coronavirus, right? Today in our view, the biggest impurity is the coronavirus. And that impurity has led to unexpected as well as unacceptable deaths. It's very unnatural, it's not a natural way in our perception still. In Bhagwan's perception, it is a natural way only. But in our perception, it's unacceptable. And if we ever had this misconception, I think we always have this misconception that we are above it all. We are so powerful. The human being through his intellect has become so powerful, ruling the world. This has proven it to be amongst the biggest of misconceptions. This has practically brought us down to our knees. Hopefully, when we are in our knees, the other virus will fly above our head. But what is the root cause for the situation really? Is it really this virus that somehow Bhagavan has injected into this quote-unquote samsara? The biggest impurity, even bigger than this coronavirus, is this aspect of I plus I want. We saw that earlier, right? The root cause of all problems, I and I want. And this I plus I want has led to extreme selfish pursuits that has caused problems for us, ourselves, and for future generations. Whichever generation practiced this I plus I want, we continue to do. And the problems, what have we done? We have found band-aid solutions, temporary fixes. We have not found permanent solutions. We just create a problem, find a temporary solution to that problem. And this has been going on for decades. If in a dream, we are chased by a tiger and the tiger is going to eat us, on the verge of eating us, what is the solution? We have to wake up. That's the solution. Humanity has to wake up. That's going to be the permanent solution. And wake up from what? Wake up to the reality that this knowledge is the king of all knowledges. Make it less of a secret, as much less as possible. Thereby purify ourselves. And when we do that, our problems will seemingly miraculously evaporate. Seemingly miraculously. But actually what will happen, because we adopt this approach, because of that, it would start, or we would start doing things that would result in a fundamental shift in our behavior, followed by fundamental shift in how we act. And that then will be the solution, will lead slowly, step by step by step, to a permanent solution. Otherwise, Bhagavan anyway says, no, it will come, the time will come when the pralaya happens. And how do we know that there is a solution? Bhagavan says, Pratyaksha Vagamam. It is direct. It is realizable through its means. Pratyaksha means it is direct, meaning that the result is apparent. And Agamam is that by which one comes to know, the means of knowledge. Another meaning of Agamam is it is the means of the result. So there are two meanings. Agamam is the means of knowledge and it is also the means of the result. The method of gaining the knowledge and the result of having that knowledge. Thus, because this knowledge is Pratyaksha Vagamam, Bhagavan says that both the method and the result are within the control of the one who knows this knowledge, of the knower. How beautiful it is. If you know this, the method and the result are both in control. Again, going back to my favorite of examples, right? If Federer has to hit that beautiful forehand dream shot in the court, or Sachin Tendulkar has to hit that mind-blowing straight drive, what has happened? He has practiced it so much that he has internalized it. He's devoted to it. That knowledge, that book knowledge of how to hit that stroke has got converted into experiential knowledge. And that experiential knowledge just oozes out effortlessly. Both the method and the result are in the control of that person. And we all watch and clap and applaud. Any of it. A concert, when the musicians, they get into that crescendo, we all just sit in a trance. Both the theoretical as well as the experiential knowledge has got so much seeped into the person that it just oozes out, comes out seamlessly, effortlessly, flows out. And it's so apparent. And then Bhagavan continues, not only all of this, it says it dharmyam, it is aligned to dharma. Which means that the result is aligned to the principles of righteousness. Which means what? That the result of action is the best possible result that one could have. What better result than being aligned to righteousness? And that is what will slowly lead to the permanent solution. And he says, Susukham kartum. Susukham. Sukham is easy. Susukham is very easy. Susukham kartum, very easy to attain. Avyayam, imperishable, does not decay. Vyaya means decay. Avyaya means does not decay. It lasts forever.